Some of the most jealous people you will meet will be those people who act like money does not matter. They hate people who have a money mindset. They tend to not like people who are about their business and about getting their money and about leveling up financially. People who are jealous and envious of those who are considered rich, those who are considered wealthy, those who are trying to do better financially, they will always pray for their downfall. And that is the reason why a lot of them stay stuck, stagnant, and poor. People who are jealous of somebody else's financial status, they will look at what they go through and act like they deserve it. Case in point, everything that's happening over there in California right now. I pray that more people do not lose their homes and that people are not losing their lives. But with that being said, you have a lot of people who are rejoicing in the fact that California, and in particularly the most wealthy areas of California, like Palisades, all these different counties in the most wealthy, Malibu, those kind of areas in California, they are burning down. And people are using this as an opportunity to kick people while they're down. That is the mindset of a jealous, envious person. I'm not talking about politics. I'm not talking about whether or not you're on the left or the right. I'm talking about human kindness and decency. And you have some people, all because other people are more wealthy financially, they feel like they deserve what they are going through. A person who thinks that way, they don't understand that while they're trying to prey on somebody's downfall, they're actually cursing themselves. When people prey on the downfall of other people, and it's not just the wealthy, you can be the average person. And what a lot of ignorant people do not realize is that with the fires that are happening over there, it's not just the wealthy who's losing their homes. It is average, everyday people who have lost their homes that happen to live in that area. But do you think they care? All they see is wealth, money, status, class, and people who are jealous and envious of that and think they don't deserve what they have anyway, they say let it burn. They say who cares? They can't show any compassion or empathy simply because the people have money, because they're celebrities, because they work hard. A lot of them worked hard for what they have. Now, this is not me defending the rich. This is me defending your right to level up, because this is not just about that mentality. That's not just about rich people, poor people. That's about people in general. And in your everyday life, even when you get a better job as the average person, you're going to have a hater, whether it be in your family, whether it be in your friend group, somebody who is hating on you simply because you're doing better financially. While they say you have, more money, more problems, I don't necessarily agree that you have more problems, but you definitely have a lot of people who do not want to see you come up. How can people be mad at these so-called wealthy people in California because they chose a different career path than them? And that is literally what it comes down to. A lot of the actors, entertainers, and sports figures in California, they chose a career path that allotted them the opportunity to make a lot of money. Any person could have chosen that, but everybody's career path is different. But jealous, envious people, what they don't understand is that you get what you work for. And if you don't work towards something greater, if you're not trying to do better and level up financially, how can you be mad at somebody who decided to do more than what you were willing to do? But yet a lot of jealous, envious people, even on a lower scale, they don't understand that. In your life, you might have seen a person who, knew you when you were a cashier, not knocking it. But now you are the CEO of a company or you have your own business. And now they look at you funny all because you're making more money. And it's not that you flaunt your money in their face. It's just they know what comes with that promotion and they feel some kind of way about it. People who are jealous and envious, they feel like you do not deserve to come up whatsoever. And when you have issues in your life, you have to watch those kind of spirits, those negative energy, that negative kind of people. They will be preying on your downfall. And while I know for a fact, and you have to know, that nothing or no one is greater than God and nobody can stop your purpose, They can absolutely interfere and distract you from focusing on those things that are important. See, I've been hearing a lot of conversations of people trying to say, everything that's happening in California, that's God's judgment. They don't care about this. They don't care about that. They deserve this. They deserve that. But what about the things that money cannot buy? What about the memories, and people raise their kids in certain homes? People don't think about those kind of things because their hate precedes them. When you have a deep hatred and jealousy and envy for a group of people, you cannot see compassion. You cannot see empathy. You cannot see past your own pain. And jealous, envious people are often suffering from their own pain, and thus they inflict that on other people. And I use the example of what's happening in California because this really highlighted a lot of people's jealousy and envy, and it more so proved the point of what I speak about on a lot of my videos. People do not, in general, not all people, but people who have deep-seated hate, jealousy, and envy toward other people, they do not want to see you winning. They don't like to see people who they perceive as better than them making more money. This money issue and the investment that you're willing to have in yourself, that triggers an envious, jealous person. No, you shouldn't care about that. No, you don't let that stop you. However, you have to recognize when you're dealing with people who are preying on your downfall and not be associated with them. That's why a lot of people say, and I tend to agree, that when you level up financially, I know it's not going to sound good to some people. When you level up financially, you cannot be around broke people. You can't be around broke people who have the mindset of being stuck, people who don't see a way out. People who are not ever trying to expand their horizons, their education, trying to do better for themselves. You cannot grow, especially financially, around those kind of people. Because, and especially I have to say this, there are some people, especially in the spiritual area, where they see wealth and finances and money as somehow sinful. And while worshiping it, the way I see it, can be sinful, having it absolutely is not. It just shouldn't have you. But why would you not want to be able to take care of yourself the best way you possibly can? But when people have a stuck, stagnant, broke, poor mindset, they think that any sign of wealth is somehow prideful, arrogant, thinking that you're better than, all these kind of things. And you are going to have to be strong enough mentally as a woman and have that wisdom to understand the difference and to know when you have somebody around you who is essentially trying to hold you back. People who are jealous and envious, they will support you in nothing, but they will help you lose everything that you work for. They will make sure that you destroy yourself if you are around them, because they're going to encourage you and try to get you to think less than of your blessings, of your wealth, of your finances, of the things that you have than what you should. You ever notice how people who don't work hard for their money, and when I say work hard, I don't mean laborious, because I don't like a lot of labor, but I mean people that don't have a money mindset, people that don't have that business acumen or really understand finances or understand how to manage and or get more money. They squander away everything they get. They don't understand planning for the future. They don't understand that, there's nothing wrong with spending money on experiences rather than just things. But see, people who think like that, they want to spend your money like it's water. Have you ever been around a certain friend or family member, and when you come around, suddenly they feel like, oh, they can order all this food, they can buy all these different things, they can do all these different activities that they don't normally do, all because you're around, all because you're at the events? Now you all are out and about at the stores and they're picking up things thinking that you're going to foot the bill. Yeah, those are people that are generally the kind of people who feel like you don't deserve what you have anyway, so they just want to squander away the money you work for. The older I got, once I got into my 30s, the more I started to realize that, if I have to work for what I have, I'm not going to let somebody, trick me into giving to them out of some kind of fake guilt. And that's another thing you have to be mindful of when you're trying to level up financially. Don't let people try to guilt you into believing just because you're doing better financially, you automatically have to give everything away. I am not saying not to give. I am not saying not to help people out. I'm saying don't let people use you. Don't let people abuse your kindness. And don't let people spiritually manipulate you into believing that just because you have, they should have. Some people like to use scripture and spiritual tactics to guilt you into believing that, well, you have it, so you should just freely give it away. And yes, you give, you help as God sees, calls you to do that. But God doesn't call you to help every single person that you come in contact with. I don't believe that. But you have some people who want you to believe that as soon as you get your money, as soon as you level up a little bit, just give it away. And that's not the call for everybody. I just have to say that. But people who, once again, because it's about the motive, it's not about the action, it's about the motive of the person that you're around. When people are trying to guilt you into believing that having wealth and financial status is somehow wrong, and I'm telling you this from personal experience, because I would often feel bad for being so business minded, because the people around me were trying to tell me, just, live a quiet life, live a peaceful life, don't worry about that. Money is not that important. However, things still need to be done. You still want to live your life. You still want to look nice. You want to feel good. You want to live the best life possible. And if money was not important, I don't believe it would have been one of our major resources. And this is just for spiritual people, because people in the world, they don't really think about this. But when you're dealing with spiritual people, there's a lot of manipulation that goes on around the issue of money. And you have to be mindful of that. There is no virtue in being broke. There is no virtue in not barely being able to feed yourself or feed your family. You have a lot of men, and this is a little bit of a sidebar. You have a lot of men. They are so spiritually minded, but they don't do the main things they're supposed to do as men, such as providing food, clothing, shelter, and making sure their family is financially cared for. They're out there doing the ministry stuff when they should be having their ministry taken care of in their homes. But I digress. Money is important. That is my own point of saying that, is that money is important. And people who are jealous and envious, they somehow want you to believe that money is no object, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you have it, they should have it. And when they see people like the rich people, a lot of the wealthy people and celebrities in California who are losing everything, they say, see, that's why this, that's why that. While they're sitting back watching those same TV shows that those people are on. It's like the hypocrisy of it all. And again, I know there's some people probably saying, rich people don't care about the poor. They don't care about you. They don't care about this. They don't care about that. It's mighty ignorant to make a generalized statement to say a whole group of people don't care. But I can see from Hollywood and all of those things that a lot of it is ungodly. And a lot of it is, it creates the illusion that they just don't care about the little people, as they say. It's not about that. It's about the average person looking down on somebody, seeing their home burning to the ground and thinking it's okay. That's a deeper spirit of jealousy and envy. Just like what happened to that CEO, the United Healthcare CEO, who somebody, took him out of here simply because they disagree with healthcare practices. Are there issues within our healthcare system? Absolutely. But was it his responsibility to take advantage of that and do what he did? Absolutely not. The point is that we're losing our humanity in our envious, jealous, and negative, toxic ways. Some people are becoming more savage-like by the moment. And when you realize that, you as the average everyday person can protect your assets, can protect your mindset, can protect your peace, and protect your heart. See, it's not just the big people that it's happening to. It's the everyday people just trying to live their life, peacefully existing. There are people around you who will think that you do not deserve anything that you have. And they will go out of their way to see that you lose it. And God forbid if you fall on a hard time and they see that, you have people who actually rejoice in the downfall of other people. But what they don't realize is that when they rejoice in the downfall of somebody who seemingly had it all, they will forever be stuck. The way I see it, it's like God sees that. And no matter what the fault of the other person might be, anytime you pray on somebody's downfall, you will never win. Anytime you laugh at somebody else's misfortune, you will never win. And jealous, envious people don't get that. You might be dealing with people right now who are trying to clown you because you're doing a career that might not be the best looking on paper, but you're making a lot of money for a man. Let's say, you work for the, you're whatever, for a man, maintenance, garbage man, whatever, but you make a lot of money. For a woman, you're a cashier, but you're taken care of by a wealthy man. They're not going to like that. People are always trying to figure out somebody else's lifestyle. Somebody's always trying to figure out somebody's class and, what tax bracket you're in. Meanwhile, they're normally the people who are at the very bottom of the barrel who critique everybody else. And I'm not saying that to put down people who are not doing that well. I'm saying that they should not be the biggest haters. And I have seen firsthand people who are struggling and suffering, but they always have their mouth on somebody else. They always have their ear to the streets and their mouths running about somebody else's business. They're always gossiping about somebody's downfall and somebody's issues and why they're not this and why they're not that. That is the problem. People who are jealous and envious and toxic, they will never win. And you never win when you prey on somebody's downfall and you want to take their money from them simply because you think they don't deserve it, but you do. But you don't want to do any work to get to where they got. Whether you agree with Hollywood, rich people, and whatever else they do, you cannot envy and covet the fact that they were willing to work, to go the extra mile, to go to different countries, to audition and, nurture their craft. And now they have amassed great wealth. The average person can do that, but the thing is, the average person doesn't tend to think that way. And on this channel, we are not average thinking women. We are wise women who understand that it's not okay to hate on somebody because they have more. If you want what they have, you shouldn't covet that. But if you want the type of life, it is not out of reach. But jealous, envious people have a stuck mindset. They see everything is out of reach. Thus, they hate on people who have the things that they have or have the things that they want. And that is no way to be. Jealousy and envy has no place in the mind of a wise, feminine, confident woman, a person in general. But like I've said before, these California wildfires, it's horrible what's happening, but it just highlighted the hate, jealousy, and envy, and the lengths that people go to applaud and clap when other people are suffering. It's absolutely ridiculous. And that is the reason why I will continue to talk about jealousy, envy, and hatred and toxic behavior, because people's true colors, their true envy and jealousy and the way they feel about other people normally comes out when the other person starts doing well for themselves in life, especially when money is involved. When people begin to invest in their looks and their lifestyle and the way they move throughout the world, the haters will come out and they will try to stunt your growth if you let them. When you hear people always talking about the negative things happening in the lives of people who tend to be a little bit more wealthy or in a different class, they perceive as class than them, just imagine when you start doing better in your life. Just imagine when you begin to amass wealth and maybe you move to a different neighborhood and you do different things. How would they feel about you? Are you still going to be their friend? Are you still going to be their closest cousin, auntie, uncle, if you're not in the trenches with them? But see, jealous, envious people, in order for them to really embrace you, you have to be in the trenches with them. And the moment you get out the trenches, they don't want to be bothered with you. And I say, leave them by themselves. You go after your life. You go after the things that you need and want for your life. And if that means amassing wealth and focusing on your money for a season, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's nothing sinful. There's nothing prideful. There is nothing absolutely wrong with wanting to make sure you have enough money to eat. You have some people who are just so out there in their thinking that they think for some reason, being poor is some kind of birthright, and it absolutely is not. And I'm not knocking people who are going through a hard time. Been there, done that. I'm saying you don't have to stay stuck. And jealous, envious people who like to manipulate you by any kind of tactic, whether it be spiritual or any other way, they want to manipulate you into staying stuck like them. Don't let them do it. Okay? Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comment section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.